Hello, welcome to your Pilates. This is your warm-up section. There'll be other sections filmed for abs, for backs. The idea is that you're going to be able to put together your very own little Pilates session with your little sections that I'm filming. Okay, so whether you've got 10 minutes or half an hour or even an hour, you can make your class your own. Okay, so we're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to start nice and standing. You want to be on a nice comfortable surface, either barefoot or in socks. If you're in socks, please make sure you're on a mat or a rug or a non-slippy surface. Okay, we're going to start with the feet together. We're going to keep the heels together, take the toes out. So you're sort of a 10 to 2, very Poppins style. And then you're going to put your heels behind your toes. Okay, so that should mean that your ankles, knees, hips are all nicely lined up. Taking a nice deep breath in, we're going to lift the shoulders towards the ears, and then we're going to roll the shoulders back and down. Take it all the way down so you can feel the shoulder blades connect together at the back. Okay, so you want to feel like you've got that connection and feel like you've got a tiny little weight sat on each shoulder, just keeping the shoulders down. Because when we get stressed, the shoulders tend to lift up and lift up and lift up. We start to hold tension around the neck, and that can be where we start to get tension headaches. So really try and relax, take the shoulders down a little and keep them depressed, not that sort of depressed, but you know, pressed down a little. Okay, so we're going to start just taking a couple of nice deep breaths and getting our core connection. So we're going to breathe in and then breathe out. And as we're breathing out, we're going to try and pull in at the core. Think about your belly button and a little magnet behind your belly button. So if you turn your magnet on, everything's drawing in towards that central point. Okay, so that means not just taking the ribs towards the spine, you're also trying to draw in from the hips, draw up from the pelvic floor, feeling a little bit of tension in the inner thighs and pulling in. Okay, so you're getting that nice connection there. Take another couple of deep breaths in, and every time you breathe out, try and breathe and increase that connection a little further. Okay, arms still nice and relaxed. We're then going to take the shoulders up and down again, breathing out, drawing everything in. Now you should be at your maximum, so everything's really pulling in. You can't really concentrate on anything else. We're going to release that by about 50%. So you've still got that light connection through the tummy area, through your core. You've got the core connected, but we're feeling like we can the mind can focus on other things as well. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of centering. So keeping the feet on your mat, you're going to just take the weight forward and take it back. A little gentle sway. So I want to turn to the side. You stay facing me. If I turn to the side, I can show you how we're going to go. So forward, taking the weight into the toes, and then coming back, weight into the heels. So forward into the toes. Soften the knees ever so slightly and bring it back. Okay, so what you're going to do is, we're thinking about just the feet. We want to take the weight forward and feel the pressure change in the feet. And then once you come back to centre, you're going to make that move a little bit smaller. As you're coming back to centre, you're feeling that you've got the weight distributed through the front and the back of the foot quite evenly. Then the same side to side, again, just gently swaying from side to side, because most of us do favour one side when we're standing. So once you really think about the feet, take the pressure from one side to the other, make that movement a little bit smaller, it's barely noticeable, and then just think about the feet and try and get your weight distributed evenly through your right, your left, your front and the back of the foot, so you feel like you're really grounded into the floor. Okay, so from there we're going to put the hands on the hips, we're going to soften the knees, and again I'm going to turn to the side, so we've got a little bit of a hip rock. So keep that tummy in, we're going to rock the hips forward and rock the hips back. Now all we're doing here is working out where our centre is, but also multitasking, because we're getting the base of the spine, the lumbar bit of the spine, we're getting some movement through there. Okay, so if your back is a little bit, I don't know how to say this, but if you've got a bit of a poorly back, or you've got a little bit of an injury, you feel a bit sore around there, you may not have a lot of movement through the hip here. Don't worry about it, it's fine. So do what's right, feels right for you. So make those movements as big as you can, and then make them a little bit smaller, just like we did in the swaying when we were centering. We're going to take it and bring it back to where you think it feels like it's in the centre. We're then going to lengthen through the legs. We're not locking the knees out, but lengthen through the legs. If you're in any doubt as to whether you're in the right place, think about your tailbone here. So your tailbone here, think about tucking under. So if it's a slight tuck under, and you should feel that connection in the core again as well. Okay, so we're back to our perfect Pilates position, so I'll call it that. So weights evenly distributed, we've warmed the back up a little bit, and we can start. We're going to go over the other hand, we're going to start from the top of the head. So we're just going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to look over your shoulder and breathe that breath out. You're going to take a breath in and breathe out over the other shoulder. Take a breath in and breathe out over the other shoulder. One more time, take a breath in, breathe out over the shoulder. Okay, coming back to centre, we're going to take the chin down towards the chest, let the weight of the head fall onto the chest, and we're going to take the ear out towards the shoulder. We're then going to lift the head back to its central position, and the same again the other side. So we drop down, we take the ear to the shoulder, and we come back to centre. Okay, we're doing it again. So we'll do these movements a couple of times each side. If you feel any pain, you know, you shouldn't really be, you should stop. Little cracks and creaks, is that a word? It's quite normal. Okay, so that's okay. So now we're going to take the ear to the shoulder, and then we're going to let the shoulder drop away into a little side bend. And then we're going to come back to centre. Take a breath in, ear to shoulder, breathe out and drop yourself down. So you may find that one side of you bends better than the other. Ear to shoulder and drop down. Last one, bring it up, ear to shoulder and drop down. Okay, we're just going to have a look at the shoulders. We're going to pop the hand on the shoulder. We're going to rotate the shoulder around. So I want you to feel with your hands. Sometimes some people find it helps to close their eyes. So if you want to close your eyes, feel how that shoulder's moving. Do a few back and also do a couple coming forward as well. And again, it's quite normal to feel little creaks, little crackles, little grindy bits almost sometimes. It sometimes feels a little bit gritty in there. Don't worry about it. It's quite normal. Okay, and then go the other way. Okay, so you're just taking a little mental mind shot of how your body is feeling. Okay, we're going to come back to centre and let the arms drop down. So we're going to bend the knees a little now. So we're bending the knees to lock the hips in place. A little bit of spinal rotation coming. So the hands in front, level with the breastbone. Now you're going to keep your head in line with your spine. So we want to keep the hands, fingertips maybe just underneath the chin, and that'll help you to keep your head nice and steady. So we're going to take a breath in. Engage that core and just a slight rotation to the side, and you're going to breathe and come back. Take a breath in to prepare, breathe out as you move. Okay, so we're trying to keep the hips facing forward. So if you're thinking about it, it's the feet. If you're feeling that the weight is transferring through the feet, you're probably using your hips to move. Nothing wrong with that, but right at this moment we want to use that spine to move rather than the hips helping. So if you can, make it a smaller movement if that's happening to you. Now if you want to, you can take the arms out, rotate the shoulders back and down, get that connection through the shoulder blades at the back. Palms are facing down, guys, by the way. And then we same again. So this puts a little bit more load onto the spine, so it's a little bit more of an advanced move. We are still just in the warm-up though, but it is a little bit more of an advanced move. So if your back doesn't like that, come back to that one. Okay, we're going to do one more and then back to centre and then come here. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of hip pedaling. We're going to lift the heel, lift the heel. So this is involving the hips, the knees and the ankles. It's quite normal to hear ankles going firing off in class. We get creaks and cracks all over the place in a Pilates class. So don't worry if that happens to you. So you're lifting one foot and then replacing, lift and replace. Okay, we're going to pop the opposite arm forward and come back. So a little arm float. So you're trying to keep that weight on the shoulder that we talked about earlier on. That weight sitting on the shoulder, so you're not lifting the shoulder, but just the arm is floating up, coming back down. So it should feel quite nice. Slight bend to the elbow, slight softness to the knees. And then we're going to go in opposition. So we're working in opposition, lifting the opposite hand to the heel, and we're going to pedal. So you're trying to keep the head nice and steady, so you're not bouncing the head up and down. So you're working through the hips, the knees and the ankles. This is your normal walking pattern, so this should feel quite natural. So you're not trying to do it too quick and bounce, you're trying to keep it nice and steady, and the head nice and level. Okay, last one. I'm going to bring it down. We're going to lift both arms together, just out to the front and bring them down. Okay, so we're lifting, trying to keep the shoulders down. Keep your gaze facing forward. You can take your hands a little higher if you want to, but try not to look at the hands. Okay, so we're just warming up. Okay, we're going to go for a little heel raise now. So the hands are going to come forward to help with balance. You're going to lift the heels away from the mat and we're going to replace them. Okay, so now we want to keep that speed the same on the way up and on the way down. So you don't come up slowly and then lose your balance and drop down quite quickly. Lower down. It's normal to feel a little bit shaky as well. If you feel that this is too much and the balance is going, really think about pulling the tummy in. All the balancing muscles, the stabilisation stuff lives in the tummy. So if you pull in, you'll find yourself a little bit more stable, hopefully, and then come back down. Okay, so all the joints, major joints are done now except the hips. I want to work the glutes and fire the glutes up. So I'm going to turn to the side to show you our squat. So we're going to come to you stay facing forwards. We're going to come to the side, and then I'm going to stand. You're facing me. Right. Take the weight back into the heels first. Really important this, because it sends a message to the brain to say, oh, we're going to work down the back of the body. So if you just went into a squat, the chances are you might do something to your lower back. Good habit to get into is to just push back first. Okay, so you feel the difference in the feet. The weight will be through the heels. We're going to sit the hips back. The arms are going to come forward. Keep your gaze looking ahead, so you don't look towards the floor. We're going to sit the hips back, squeeze, and come back up. Okay, so we're going to do a few of these. Now, it's not a competition to see how low you can get. Remember, we're still in the warm-up phase. We want everything to start moving nicely and together. So we're sitting down, coming up, taking a breath, breathe in, squeeze your bottom as you come up. Even if you feel it's not squeezing, really think about squeezing it. So down, squeeze on the way up. Okay, last one. Down, squeeze on the way up. Okay, so now everything is warmed up. We're going to start on a little bit of balance stuff. So we're going to tap forward, brush and tap back. So you'll brush forward, tap, brush and tap back. So I said about balancing muscles living in the tummy. This is we're kind of warmed up now. A little bit of standing work. Okay, we're going to brush and tap, changing sides. Okay, so again, your perfect Pilates posture. Take the weight on the other side, tap, brush, tap. Brushing forward, tap, brushing back and tap. Okay, so from the side, tap forward, tap back. Tap forward, tap back. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more now. We're going to tap forward, we're going to circle around, tap at the back and then brush forward. So you're circling around. You can keep your toe in contact with the mat if you want to. Tap at the front, open out, tap at the back. So if you want to, if you feel your balance is good enough, you can lift the leg, tap round and then brush, changing sides. So we'll tap forward, keep the toe in contact with the mat the first time or so, and then brush forward. So we lift if you're feeling confident and brush forward. Doing one more. Round we go. So we're working out with the hips, brush forward and take it back there. Okay, so now we're going to roll down. So the roll down is an exercise in itself, but what it does, it stretches the hamstrings a little bit. If you've got issues with your lower back, hamstrings need to be stretched usually, and it also wakes the spine up a little bit. So we've done the spine rotation and we've done it laterally side to side. Now we're going to fold forward a little bit. It's called a roll down. So I'm going to go to the side to show you, but again, you stay facing forward. Taking a breath in, take your chin to the chest, breathe out. Continue that breath out as you just let the head roll down, and you're just going to roll that halfway. Take a breath at the bottom, breathe out, tummy's in, and roll back up. So again, needs to be done quite slowly, this one. You want to feel that that vertebrae is moving, one little vertebrae, the spine's moving, sorry, one vertebrae at a time. Breath in, chin to chest, breathe out, and we're rolling all the way down. So you can soften your knees if you want to. Notice I'm not going all the way down to start with. I want to get the back nice and warmed up. If you've got tight hamstrings, you'll feel a little stretch in them as you go down. So most people find that stops them getting as low as they probably want to go. And what they tend to do is bend the knees so they can get a bit lower. Nothing wrong with that, but if your hamstrings are tight, it's a good idea to give them a little stretch now and then. So we're going to do one more. So we're rolling down, and hopefully you're finding you're getting a little bit further each time. Take a breath at the bottom, breathe out as you're travelling, and as you roll back up, take that moment to just put the shoulders back down into place. Okay, then this last time, we're going to use the movement to get down towards the floor. So we're going to roll down, take that breath, breathe out, rolling down. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Walk your hands out onto your mat. Put your hands under your shoulders, knees under the hips. I'll just check you can still see me. Yeah, just about. My head's gone, but it's all right. Okay, and then we're going to take the hips back down towards the heels and let the head just drop below the shoulders. So from here, we're going to start mat work. But if this has been your little stretch and warm up for the morning, you can leave me here. So join in with us for some other exercises if you'd like, or just if you've had a nice stretch, get on with your day. Okay, see you next time. Bye.